It's Friday, fool, and you need this tool. Welcome back to another glorious episode of It's Friday, fool, you need this tool. My name is Kyle Voss, and every Friday I bring you a tool that I use here in this shop or that I have featured on this channel. Welcome back to another, oh, I already did that. Let's see. This week's tool is the safety wire pliers. Is that what they're called? Yes, the safety wire pliers. So I call it speed wire. I guess it's safety wire is probably a more appropriate term. So just a little bit of background if you're not familiar with the safety wire pliers or safety wire itself. Safety wire, I believe, kind of came from the aviation industry and made its way into like high-speed racing, some drag racing. A lot of motorcycle stuff uses safety wire, along with a lot of other things too that I'm probably pretty sure I'm not including. And there may be a few of you out there that are probably like, safety wire or speed wire, what is he talking about? I've never seen that tool, never heard of that term. Let me give you a little example. I've been working on the Turbo Mustang and working on the brakes. So this is an aluminum, solid aluminum brake hub and a steel rotor. And basically it just bolts to the aluminum. And on the back side with the bolts, I wanted to make sure that these bolts were not gonna come out. I mean, that would be something you wouldn't want to happen, is your brake rotor to come loose, right? Especially if it's working its way loose and then you didn't find out until you were like making a pass 200 mile an hour or something. This is basically what safety wire does, okay? So the head of the bolt has a hole through it and you basically run this stainless wire through these bolts in a fashion that will not allow these to come out. It won't allow them to unscrew. If you see the way that they're kind of lined up, they go in this side and out that side on all of them. So this thing could not move counterclockwise. It could probably get tighter, but it could not get looser. Make sense? Kind of understand it now. And these pliers I'm gonna show you, these pliers will help you achieve this kind of twist and run pattern. And how it does that, you ask? Well, so you got stainless wire. All right, and these pliers here have a cutter on them also. Like I said, this came from aviation, I believe. I'm not 100% sure of that. I'm pretty sure that it came from aviation. And the reason is that you don't want stuff coming loose when you're flying, obviously. So the way this works, put a hole through the head of the bolt or whatever it is that you want to basically fasten. And there's a lot of ways that you can do this. The way that I've done it may not be the exact precise way that it's done for aviation or anything else. I've seen where two of them might be basically tied together. So some people would just tie these two together, then someone would tie these two together, and then someone would tie these two together instead of doing all six at once. Or tie three of them together and then tie these three together. There's a lot of ways that you can do it. There may be only one official way to do this. For what I'm using it for, this will work perfect. You also might say, well, why don't you just use Loctite or lock washer? Well, these actually have lock washers on them, but I don't really trust a lock washer to save my life, right? Loctite would probably work. The problem with Loctite is that I guess it could still potentially come loose, and this hub is aluminum, so I wouldn't want to have any issues with threads if I ever need to take these bolts out. Loctite could cause those problems, and so I didn't want to go that route either. Speed wire, safety wire was the route that I chose, and for this application I feel like it's gonna work great. Alright, back to me showing you how these pliers work. So, you got your stainless wire, and if I had a bolt that had a hole in the head of it, I could show you. I don't. Let's just do this. I got a socket right here. Let's act like this is the head of a bolt, okay? So you basically run the stainless through there. Then you clamp it with these pliers. Alright, and then these pliers will lock. So it's got a little hook right here, and this little piece just slides. So you just press this down. Oop. Alright, see if I can show you this time. So you just press this down, and then this little piece just slides and I'll lock it. So these pliers are locked on this stainless wire now. Alright, once you get it that way, then it has this little knob at the end. And on the inside of this has a shaft that is, for lack of better words, spiral wound, I guess. And you'll see as I pull this out, when I pull this, it's gonna spin these pliers and it'll wind this stainless. So just like that. Give it a pull. You can see, or maybe you can't see, it's just winding that stainless up. Just gets it nice and tight. And I think within the aviation industry, or maybe some of the other stuff too, there needs to be a certain amount of winds per an inch. I just wind it nice and tight. What you would do is, if this was going to another bolt, obviously that's where the pliers would be holding onto the wire. That way you only twist the distance between the bolts. And then once you're done, the two pieces of stainless will still be apart. You can then run one of those through the next bolt head, and then you measure it out, you clamp your pliers again, you twist that section, and so on and so forth until you're all the way around. Everything is nice and tidy and it's not going anywhere. And then if you ever do need to remove these, you just take some snips, cut the stainless loose, discard the wire, and once you put everything back together, then you just put your safety wire back on. I think I have some footage of me doing this one, so I'll show you that. Obviously, safety wire, speed wire, it's not for everybody. I mean, you're not putting this on just normal stuff. I will tell you though, if there's anything that you want to make sure does not come loose, this is a good trick to use, and it looks pretty dang cool too. So if you've got maybe something that you want to have that salt flat, high speed look, drag racing look, or aviation style look to it, put you some speed wire on there. It'll give you the look that you need, even if you don't necessarily need the safety aspect of this. These kits are relatively cheap. I think 25 foot of stainless wire and the pliers were like 22 bucks, shipped on Amazon. As I always do, I'll drop some links in the description so you can go check them out. Just a cool little tool to have. I suppose you could probably use these too, like twist just regular power wire. You know, if you're trying to like run something nice and neat within your car, you can get a set of these. I don't know. If you have a use for these that I've not mentioned, be sure to comment in the comments and let us know what you use them for. I guess that's it. This week's tool, the safety wire pliers. As always, thank you for joining me. I will see you a lot more this week. I've already got 2 videos lined up for you. Probably Saturday and Sunday, I don't know. Anyway, it's Friday, fool. It's Friday, fool!